Happy Easter. I so wish we could see each other face to face and celebrate Easter here at church at both St. Paul's and St. John's. But today we're going to celebrate Easter this way. I thought that I would bring you the Easter message with something called resurrection eggs. This is something I purchased many years ago and wanted to share them with you. Each of these eggs has something inside of it, and what's inside of it helps us understand the Easter story a little bit more, starting with Palm Sunday, which was last Sunday, and going through today. Now, inside each of these eggs, when I open it up, there's a symbol, and I'm going to pause just a little bit. So at home, you can maybe come up with the answer. And I'm hoping mom and dad are watching this with you, and they can help you as well, too. I also know we have some adults who watch this who have no children at home. So you'll be able to maybe guess at home and see how accurate you are at the very end, too. So my first egg is the blue one, and when I open up my egg, inside my egg is, I hope you can see this okay, it's a donkey. And I'm wondering if you can remember why I'd have a donkey inside this egg. So this donkey reminds us of Jesus riding into Jerusalem on Palm Sunday. That was last Sunday. So my next egg is this lovely pink egg, my favorite color, by the way. And inside this egg are some coins. I hope you can see those coins there. So what might these coins be about when we think of the Easter story? So these coins remind us of the 30 pieces of silver that Judas received for helping the religious leaders arrest Jesus. Next up is my purple egg. Inside of my purple egg, we find, I hope you can see this, this is a cup, also called a chalice. Any idea why this would be inside of my egg? So this cup reminds us of Jesus's Last Supper with his followers. And this was used for wine. So wine would have been inside of the cup, and Jesus would have had the very first communion or Last Supper with his disciples. Inside my orange egg, oops, this was kind of stuck. There are some praying hands. What might that be about? Well, the praying hands remind us of Jesus praying in the Garden of Gethsemane on the night that he was arrested. So this would have happened on Thursday of Holy Week, what we're in right now. Next up is my green egg. And inside of my green egg, I have a little piece of leather. It's supposed to look like a leather strip or a leather strap. Any ideas what that might be about? So the leather reminds us of the whip used to give Jesus 39 lashes after his trial by Pilate. My next egg has inside of it a crown of thorns. And I'm thinking you might know what this is about. So after Jesus was arrested, a crown of thorns was placed on his head by the soldiers, and they used it to make fun of him. Jesus said that he was king, that he was God's son, and he was called King of the Jews or King of People, our King. And so they mocked him, made fun of him, and put this crown on him. My next egg, and I'm hoping you can see this up close. These are nails made in the shape of a cross. So what were the nails about when we think of Jesus's last week? So the nails remind us of the nails put in Jesus's hands and his feet to nail him to the cross. My next egg has a die in it. So you might not know this, but if you have more than one of these, they're called dice. But if you just have one, it's called a die. So what about this die? What does this remind you of for that story about Jesus's last week? So this die reminds us of the Roman soldiers gambling for Jesus's clothing. They rolled this die, and whoever probably got the high number maybe got to keep Jesus' clothing. This is my second favorite color, purple. So inside the purple egg, I have, and I'm thinking you might be able to see this, this is a spear. So any ideas what the spear is about? So this item reminds us of the spear that the Roman soldiers used to stab at Jesus's body after he died. My next egg is kind of a cream colored egg. And inside of this, there's a little piece of fabric. Any idea what this is about? So this little piece of fabric reminds us of the cloth wrapped around Jesus's body after he died. It was wrapped around his body by Joseph of Arimathea, and then Jesus was placed in a tomb. My next egg has a rock in it. Wonder what that's about. So you may remember that there was a stone that covered the entrance to where Jesus was buried. And on Easter morning, when the women came to the grave, the tomb, the stone was rolled back and they were able to get into the tomb without having to worry about moving that. And then my last egg is this blue one. And when I open it up, there's nothing in it. It's empty. Wonder why? Well, this empty egg reminds us of the empty tomb and Jesus' resurrection from the dead. It also reminds us that Jesus is still with us today. We believe that Jesus is present in our heart. We believe that Jesus is present all around us in creation. And on this Easter morning, we celebrate Jesus' resurrection from the grave. And we celebrate how he's present in our lives in so many different ways. Right now, you're at home and you might be feeling kind of lonely because you don't get to see your friends and play with your friends like you were a couple weeks ago. You're not able to see your teachers and be inside your classrooms or be at daycare. I want you to know on this Easter morning, you are not alone. Jesus is with you. And even when you are all alone in a room by yourself, Jesus is still there with you. Jesus loves you, and Jesus seeks to bring the best into your life. I want you to celebrate that on this Easter morning, and I hope you get a chance to go outside and just cheer and yell and celebrate this wonderful day. Again, happy Easter. I'm looking forward to seeing you back in church in a couple of weeks, and we can see each other face to face and be able to hug each other and touch each other again. Until then, know that I love you and I think of you often. Bye bye.